Well, if you so desire, I did rewatch some things.
I do want to rewatch. I love a rewatch.
Well, the thing that I watched was 2017's Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky. Oh, okay.
Catherine, why don't you know anything? Anyway, so this is Steven Soderbergh. It was lesser known because they chose to release it differently, not through a major studio, and it totally backfired.
Oops. Uh-oh.
So it wasn't a hit, and nobody cared. But I think it's kind of gained, not a following, but like, a movie with Channing Tatum and Adam Driver and, everybody under the sun. Yeah, I guess on Netflix I'll watch that. So now I think more people know about it and know that it's very fun. The joke is that it's the hillbilly Ocean's 11. Or, in the movie they even say the Ocean's 7-Eleven.
That's funny.
It's kind of crazy. It is like, wow, I didn't know this much about West Virginia and North Carolina and, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And this is crazy. I feel like I'm learning a lot here watching it for 10 times. But it's super fun. I mean, Riley Keough from, Daisy Jones and the Six. Daniel Craig is, he's kind of fantastic. And what he's doing in this, I really enjoy it. I think everybody needs to know about that.
Okay.
Sebastian Stan does one. Then the ladies of it, Hilary Swank, Katie Holmes, Catherine Waterston, are all very fun in what they're doing. Some of them, unfortunately, Katie Holmes doesn't get to really have very much fun at all, but whatever. It's still good. In classic Ocean's 11, Steven Soderbergh, you're following it. Sometimes you're like, well, maybe I don't understand why we're doing this right now because this doesn't quite make sense. But then later you're going to get like, oh, okay, well, no, that was because they knew that this was going to go this way. And so that's pretty enjoyable, I felt like. There are two others. This time they weren't quite as big of a deal, but, Jack Quaid, our man from The Boys,
sure,
playing an insane person. Daniel Craig's brother, actually. And then the other brother from that family is Brian Gleason, so one of the other Gleason sons. So he's enjoyable. We saw him recently in another show. It was just The Lazarus Project. He's in that too. Unfortunately, he did die, but then he did come back.
Yeah.
So that worked out.
I mean, Lazarus Project is pretty fantastic.
Yes.
It's hard to track because there's a lot of resetting the timeline because people are dying and then they're not dead, and there's a lot going on. Lazarus Project is really good, though. But, yeah.
It's great. But anyway, this was like a fun place. Ed and I are seeing him in Peaky Blinders now, too. It was like, oh, I didn't connect that I knew you from all these places now. But he's also playing, again, Daniel Craig's brother. So he's got two brothers. Daniel Craig even does a fun line reading on that. So be ready. Okay.
Oh, okay. Did you say where it is available?
It's currently on Netflix.
Okay.
It kind of runs the rounds. So, not always available, but it's pretty fun. If I feel like there's maybe nothing else that needs to be said, apparently. So the one thing I will say, when you look this up, and I did not know this until very recently, this last time. So written by Rebecca Blunt. That's actually a pseudonym. Now, we know Steven Soderbergh likes to do pseudonyms, but it's not for Steven. It's for his wife, Jules Asner.
Really?
Yes, I just found this out.
Why does he like to do pseudonyms? Oh, isn't that the whole, like, if you want to be credited a certain way, like there's certain things that he doesn't like the way that the credits work. So he was like, well, what if I break up that I wrote it and directed it? Is that what it was?
Maybe, and that's definitely not helpful in this moment. But I think you're right. So if we're talking about the writer of this movie and why that happened, they were just trying to hide it. That like, oh, well, you made a movie from your wife's script and like she doesn't normally write, so.
Which is so funny. Like, why hide it? But interesting. Okay.
Hollywood makes some weird decisions sometimes, so whatever. That was the decision they made. I don't know that it's ever been completely confirmed. I think it's been mostly confirmed. It's hard to tell. But apparently she is from, I think, West Virginia. And there's also kind of a weird family, history that is similar but different. Or I don't know what I'm getting into by saying that, so I don't want to go too far. So there was kind of like, oh, well, that would make sense that you would bring this perspective that maybe Steven wouldn't have. Or like, who has this perspective? Oh, you actually do. Mm-hmm. So that was very enjoyable to find out about.
Wow, cool.
For me.
Well, yeah. I mean, on this 10th viewing.
Not for you, but that's okay.
Is 10 really an accurate number? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But, I mean,
feels accurate-ish?
Not more than 20.
Oh, not more than 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could easily watch this every year.
Every year. Okay.
Every 6 months if you want.
I mean,
I'm going to start with 1, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well,
See if it.
I mean, the last recommendation you took, even for the whole family, for my rewatch, I think worked out well, didn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm gonna
Which
go for
one
it
was
again.
that?
Catherine,
What?
Triple Frontier.
Oh, Triple Frontier. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. We do appreciate a rewatch.
Sure you do.
We do.